Hello, and welcome to Geneva, a small, unassuming town in the heart of Switzerland, somewhere in Europe. Here, the Genevans live in relative happiness as they get on with their lives, hidden away from the rest of the world. Until, once every year in March, the Geneva Motor Show comes along and brings along fantastic cars like the ones you're about to see. Beginning with, oh my god, it's the Dacia Logi! This fantastic car was introduced by a Romanian band. And if that's not the weirdest sales pitch you've ever seen, I don't know what is. But this car will come with optional extras like seats that fold down and fog lights and doors that close and then open again. And it'll also have a steering wheel and front side airbags and a bit for your iPad. Totally irrelevant to the car, but there you go. The next car we're going to look at is the Fiat 500L, which will be launched in Europe at the end of this year. It's essentially a Fiat 500, well, the front of a Fiat 500, and the back of a Fiat 500, and a Fiat 500 engine with a big bit in the middle, with no purpose whatsoever other than to generate money for Fiat. It's essentially a Fiat 500 which was designed to be a small car made into a big car, and I don't get the point of that. Next up is the Tata Megapixel, with some funky music in the background and some ladies standing around it. The Megapixel is essentially a Chevy Volt underneath, and if it's anything like the Volt, then it'll spin off every time you get to a corner, and you and your family will be hideously killed and your skin will be burned off in a puddle of acid. Still, it isn't nearly as stupid as the next car we're going to look at, the Sangyon 14. There we go. Now, the Lamborghini Aventador Jota. This car has no roof whatsoever and two separate sort of pod things for the driver and the passenger to sit in. It still has that 6.5 V12 litre engine that Lamborghini Aventador did have, and it's got 691 brake horsepower. It's just fantastic! Another fantastic Italian car that we're looking at now is the Alfa Romeo Touring Superleggera Disco Volante. This is essentially the 8C Competizione with a different body on. It's got the same Ferrari V8, the same space frame, and, well, it's the same car really, it just looks even better, which I'm not even sure how they managed to do. It does 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds, and if they make that, it'll be fantastic. Now, I will give you 5 seconds to tell me what this car is. Anyone? No? It's a Honda! It's the new Honda NSX concept, and underneath that brilliant body it's got a 3.5 litre V6 engine generating around 400 horsepower to get it going. Now, it is quite common with these concept cars at Geneva and other motor shows that they never get made, but if that does get made, then I honestly think that that will be absolutely fantastic. Now, adhering to the old Italian principle of putting a car on a spinning podium and putting a pretty lady next to it, is the Pininfarina Cambiono. It's got 4 82 horsepower motors for each wheel and a tiny diesel generator for power, making it a sort of hybrid car like the Fisker Karma. And that should be rubbish, and it'll never get made anyway. Adhering to the old Italian principle of having a pretty lady on a spinning platform, it's the Bertone Nuccio concept. And the unique thing about this car is no one in the world knows anything about it. Essentially, Bertone commandeered the spinning stand and put the new, frankly quite ugly car on it, with a lady dressed up as the car, and no one knows anything about it. Something people do know something about, though, is this IED Cistalia. It's got 450 horsepower V8 engine, and it's a remake of the original Cistalia, which had a 1.1 litre 4-cylinder, 55 brake horsepower engine. That just shows how times have changed. And underneath this 10 is our next car, the Infiniti Emerge E hybrid supercar concept. And if it's like other Infinitis, it will be absolutely dreadful in every single way, and if it's like other hybrids, it will be absolutely dreadful in every single way. Either way, this car is destined to be a complete failure of every kind. I mean, look at that interior, they can't even get that right. But one thing that someone has got right is this: the Bugatti Veyron Grand Sport Super Sport, or VTS for short. Now this still has that 1200 brake horsepower engine, but it's been combined with the Grand Sport, so now it's convertible, and you can do 250 or so miles an hour with the roof down, and if a fly hits you at that speed, you will die. And I can't really tell how they've done it, because all they've really done is change it from orange to blue. Another blue car here, as we can see, is the new Agera R, which is still being teased. It's the 5.litre V8 one, and it generates 1100 brake horsepower. Now, no one knows how fast it really goes, but if the laws of physics and maths are right, which they almost always are, then it should be pretty jolly fast, I think. So pretty jolly fast that some scientists are of the opinion that the Bugatti Veyron might be given a run for its money. But enough about that. This is the highlight of Geneva, the F12 Berlinetta. Now, it gives off CO2 emissions of just 350 grams per kilometre, and it has a 20% increase in structural rigidity. Oh yeah, it has a V12 engine that generates 740 brake horsepower and takes it from 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds as well, just as a kind of side detail. Anyway, we doubt you've learned anything from this highly biased and uneducational video, so once again, and as usual, we've completely wasted your time. Until next Geneva Motor Show, goodbye.